Hey everyone, I just wanted to wish you all a happy new year. I am very thankful for this year. You've all been a part of this year for me. I'm just thankful to each and every one of you for coming on this journey with me. And, it's 2025 now, and I thought I would maybe give you something that you can take into the new year and hopefully will make your life better or richer as it has mine. And today I really want to talk about social media and its its effect on you manifesting the life that you want to live. Now, the dangers and the toxic side of social media is already really well documented, so I don't really want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is thoughts and how thoughts create frequencies and vibrations that you send out to people. Everything in this universe is vibration. We are made from tiny vibrating particles. Everything around us is made from tiny vibrating particles. And as humans, we can give vibrations and we can also receive vibrations. This can be done through our voice, through our throat. It can also be done through our mind. And, we're not taught this and it's not something that we are brought up and raised to believe, but it is true. Our thoughts create vibration and they create things. There's an after effect of what we think. And a good example of this is, I'm sure many of you have had this happen to you, where you've thought of someone in your life that you may not have seen or thought of for a very long time, and almost coincidentally, they'll have texted you and you'll have received a text message from this person maybe a few hours later or a few days later. Or you may have thought of someone and run into them at the supermarket or run into them at the gym or a cafe, and it's crazy. And you always say, "Hey, I was literally just thinking about you the other day." And that's sort of how thoughts work. When you have a thought, you create a vibration, and a lot of the time, you attract something to you that comes from that thought. So we've established this, that we are telepathic, our thoughts matter, and we can affect change just by thinking of something or someone. Now, I'm going to take this into social media. I'm going to preface this by saying that this is my experience and it's not necessarily something that relates to you, but it could also relate to you. And I have a feeling it may. But a lot of people in my life growing up wanted to see me do well, especially my friends. They say they want to see you do well, but actually they only want to see you do well, but not to the point that you're doing better than them. And also, just on a side note, this whole comparison of someone doing better than you is a complete fallacy. We're all on such unique journeys that you cannot compare your journey to someone else's at all. At all, there's zero way you can compare. And the comparisons that a lot of society have between themselves and other people is the root of a lot of their suffering and a lot of their depression and a lot of their sadness. So we shouldn't even be comparing, but unfortunately, the way society structures us and the way the schooling system is, we are inclined to compare. And I realized that in my 20s, a lot of people around me, were happy to see me do well, but the moment I was doing better than them, they weren't as enthusiastic about my success or about my life. And I came to a realization that the more I kept my life private, the happier I was and the better my life got, surprisingly. So I say this because these thoughts that people have for you will undoubtedly reach you through a vibration. Whether it affects you is another question entirely. Some people are vibrating so highly that these thoughts don't affect them at all. But if you have any sort of doubt, if you're still not sure of your potential and you're still navigating your way through this experience, it's a lot better to do these things in private. And I think there are some caveats. I think if you're with a partner or if you have family that genuinely want to see you do well, their vibration aligns with yours. And an example of this is if you and your partner were looking to save up together to buy a house, to start a family in the future, maybe your vibrations are the same. So your ability to manifest is actually, in a sense, it's amplified. And I have a little animation to explain this, but when waves are the same frequency and they work together, they actually increase in amplitude and increase in power. So if you're with a person or a group of people that have the same goal and you genuinely it's steeped in love and good intention, then that goal has a much higher likelihood of becoming a reality, because so many of you are manifesting the same goal, and the vibration is the same. Now, I'm going to bring this back to social media. I know I've been going on a bit of a tangent, but it's all related. If you on social media were to post a photo of maybe you with your partner on a beach somewhere and having a lovely time, people will see that, and maybe some people will like that and will genuinely be happy for you. But there will also be people that will like that, and because society teaches us to compare from such a young age, they're going to inherently compare what you've posted to what their life is. And if it's something that makes them feel like their life isn't good enough, they're subconsciously going to have a thought that may not be a pleasant one, or may not be one that serves you. And because it's a vibration, it's going to be sent out to you. Now, if it's one or two people, maybe it's not a big deal. But if there are many people with an opposite frequency to you, or an opposing frequency to you, that is going to affect you in a way that you won't completely feel, but it will. In some way, it will affect your life in some way. Because these vibrations it's so many people, it's so powerful, And it's really clear in celebrity culture. When we try and cancel someone, there's this mob mentality where everyone's just sending out this frequency where we want this person to fail, and they fail. It's very, very unlikely that someone, once the public decides they're not going to be successful, they do fail. And it's really quite sad. But as a person, the moment you share something in your life that is success or happiness, unless you have an extremely small social media feed, or you have a massive amount of faith in the people around you, there are going to be people that look at that may not wish you well. I only say this because I've had these people in my social media feed, and to be honest, I probably still do. I don't even know. I don't know what anyone's thinking, but I don't post a lot. I would rather work in silence. I would rather achieve in silence. I think the moment people give you attention, if it's not good attention, it's not going to serve you. And because I'm not sure whether I can handle bad attention, I prefer no attention. I'm not sure if that makes sense to some people, but it does make sense if you sit with it. If you can be in a vacuum where it's just your vibration and no one else's vibration can touch you, ideally, you'll be able to manifest your reality. The moment you start making it public, you start telling people about it, and people start thinking, oh, he's doing something different. And remember, humans don't like things that are different. Then it may affect you in a not so positive way. Another example is if you were to wake up every morning and you had, let's say, a photo of someone that wronged you in the past, someone that you dislike, on the wall. Every morning you wake up and you see that person. Subconsciously, even consciously, you may have a negative thought towards this person. But because it's stuck on your wall, you're going to have this thought every single day you wake up. Social media is not that different. If you're constantly posting your life and you have people that don't like your life because it's different from theirs, they're constantly seeing you and sending thoughts, not positive thoughts. The alternative here would be not to have any attention at all. Imagine if you woke up and that poster wasn't there anymore. Imagine if you took that photo down. How quickly would you forget about this person? Probably within a few hours, maybe even a day. And then you're no longer sending that person negative thoughts. And social media is very similar. The moment you stop posting, people almost forget about you. And that's great, because you can work on your reality, you can work on your projects, and you can build that life. And it'll come to a point where it's inevitable. Your light is so strong that inevitably people are going to notice that you're doing something different, and they're going to notice that your life is amazing. And at that point, here's the thing, you can't control what they think, but also you're in such a high place of high vibration that even the negativity just won't affect you. But as someone who was quite early on this journey and who to some level has some self-doubt and is second guessing whether this is his purpose, I can tell you these negative thoughts, or these thoughts that people have, are not serving me, and it's not giving me a proper chance to succeed and to really fulfill my potential. So this is just my way of hopefully bringing in the new year and giving you some advice on working in silence this year or working in private. Privacy is power, privacy is a privilege. People don't understand that in today's world, to achieve in private is amazing, and to actually just be satisfied by your own self approval and your own self love. You shouldn't need to seek approval from other people or to even show other people what you're doing. It should just come from within. And I think that's probably where happiness even comes from. When you're truly happy and you truly love yourself, nothing can really affect you. And I think this is a really good step towards that goal.